Good evening. Good evening and welcome back to JPC, Spiritual Talk. It's Jared Campbell. So this evening, we're going to talk about Dark Eagle, Ukrainian collapse, NATO alert, the Biden controversy, Trump on Kamala Harris, Germany arms Ukraine. Before we get into these discussions, we'll start out by asking our Lord a quick prayer. In the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. And I'm going to ask Christ, my God, without you, I can do nothing. Please help me with this task that I'm about to complete. Keep me truthful, keep me honest, keep me objective to the facts, and always keep me as the apple of your eye. And I pray all this in your holy name. In the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit, now and forever. Sages, amen. Where's a shepherd? All right, good evening. Welcome back. So we're going to talk about Dark Eagle. Starting out, the screen shared over. Thank you all again for following. So Dark Eagle, right? It may sound creepy, right? But I can rest assure you it's not. So Dark Eagle, U.S. missile scenario that scares even the Russians, forced to respond. U.S. sends Dark Eagle to Germany. This was an interesting research, read. So what's happening is that the U.S. is planning to deploy 3 types of strategic missiles, including the Dark Eagle long-range hypersonic weapon in Germany. Scott Ritter, a former UN weapons inspector, he was also in the Marine Corps, highlights the dangers of this move, noting that these capabilities, especially the hypersonic Dark Eagle, can significantly destabilize the region and provoke a strong response from Russia. Some key points. So the missile development. So the U.S. announced plans to deploy the Tomahawk cruise missiles, the SM-6 missile system, and the Dark Eagle long-range hypersonic weapon in Germany. The Tomahawk missiles have a range of 460 to 2,500 kilometers and can also carry conventional or low to medium yield nuclear warheads. Listen attentively. The SM-6 missile system has a range of 240 to 460 kilometers and can be launched by the Typhoon mid-range capability system or Aegis, the shore defense system. The Dark Eagle hypersonic missiles, developed by Lockheed Martin, has a reported range up to 3,000 kilometers and is known for its hypersonic precision and also its difficulty to be intercepted. Is interesting. So here are some important implications. Scott Ritter described the Dark Eagle as the most destabilizing of the 3 systems because it can strike deep inside Russia with very high precision. The deployment aligns with the U.S. Department of Defense Conventional Prompt Strike Initiative, which aims for rapid, high-precision strikes. Potential consequences. The deployment of these missiles is seen as an escalation that could provoke a severe response from Russia. I would imagine so. Russia has indicated that it will respond to this development, though the specifics of its response still remains unknown. Ritter also warns that decision is one of the U.S. and NATO's most dangerous and irresponsible moves, potentially leading to more tragic outcomes, possibly another World War III, or another World War, right? So conclusion, the U.S. deployment of strategic missiles in Germany, notably the hypersonic Dark Eagle, represents a significant escalation of military capabilities that could destabilize the region and provoke a strong response from Russia. This move is viewed as a severe and dangerous decision that increases the risk of conflict and necessitates careful consideration to avoid tragic consequences. I believe so. So we're going to talk about the Ukrainians' collapse in Kharkiv and Torstek, right? The Russian army captures Stepova and other areas, right? But what I think is important, right, is Zelensky, though. Zelensky on BBC talked about the deterioration on the front. The Ukraine army is suffering heavy losses. So Zelensky had 2 interviews with BBC. The first one was back in, I think it was the 25th of February of 2024. And then he did one on July 19th of this year also. So he's actually done 2 interviews. One where he talked a lot about what was happening. I think that was in February. Talked a lot about what was going on in the front lines then. The second interview, he talked more about Trump and probably hit little on what was going on. It was more about Trump. So the Russians, there's a lot of territorial losses for Ukraine, right? Casualties and losses. Ukrainian forces are suffering high casualties, with over 35,000 soldiers lost in May of 2024 alone, according to the Russian Defense Ministry. This is where I've done some research, so just bear with me. Specific losses in the Kherson region were highlighted, with significant numbers of service members missing or confirmed dead. Okay. Zelensky's acknowledgement, right? So he's acknowledging, and he had 2 interviews on BBC. So President Zelensky admitted to the high daily losses and the worsening situation. Refusal to provide exact casualty figures, but media reports indicate severe losses in Kherson. Zelensky says 31,000 Ukrainian soldiers have been killed during Russia's full-scale invasion. So he's claiming only 31,000 have died during Russia's full-scale invasion. Zelensky also stated that 31,000 Ukrainian soldiers have died in this war, not 300,000 or 150,000 or whatever Putin and his lying circles are saying. But each of these losses is great for us. Also, U.S. officials in August put the number of Ukrainian soldiers killed at 70,000 and as many as 120,000 injured. So just keep listening to some of these. This is interesting because the numbers just really don't add up. So in the terms of Russian losses, now this is Zelensky's words, not mine. In the terms of Russian losses, Zelensky said 180,000 Russian soldiers have been killed and tens of thousands more injured. And a joint project also has established the names of more than 45,000 Russian people who have died, but it estimates the total number of greater than that. In February, the UK's defense ministry estimated that 350,000 Russian troops have been killed or injured. But how would some of them know some of these numbers, right? So some of this is very interesting. So here's my conclusion overall. The Ukrainian army is enduring significant territorial and personal losses as Russian forces continue their advance across multiple fronts. Despite increased mobilization and Western support, Ukraine is struggling to hold its position against the relentless Russian offensive. Right. All right. So CNN, NATO has put more than 500,000 troops on alert. The revelations were made by NATO Representative Farah Dakhala. So NATO has significantly transformed its defense posture since 2014, with over 500,000 troops now on high alert, according to NATO Representative Farah Dakhala. In an interview with CNN, this transformation includes comprehensive defense plans and heightened readiness for potential military conflicts, particularly in response to perceived threats from Russia. The recent NATO summit reaffirmed these efforts, identifying Russia as the main threat to member countries and outlining strategic recommendations to counteract Russian influence. Key points: defense transformation. Since 2014, NATO has undergone substantial changes in its collective defense strategy. Farah Dakhala, a NATO representative, revealed that over 500,000 troops are on high alert as part of this transformation. Point number 2, NATO has implemented comprehensive defense plans, the most significant since the Cold War. The alliance actively prepares for potential military threats, focusing on readiness and rapid response capabilities. Number 3, Polish president emphasized NATO's preparation for possible conflicts, highlighting the alliance's proactive stance. Number 4, the NATO summit held in July 9th to 11th in Washington confirmed the alliance's strategic focus. Russia was identified as the primary threat to NATO member countries. No doubt, huh? The summit's final statement emphasized the need to develop strategic recommendations and not to provide support to Moscow amid the ongoing conflict in Ukraine. NATO's significant defense transformation since 2014, with over 500,000 troops on high alert, underscores the alliance's readiness to address potential military threats, particularly from Russia. The recent NATO summit reinforced this stance, highlighting strategic preparations and a firm approach to countering Russian influence. This heightened state of readiness and strategic planning marks a notable shift in NATO's defense posture, reflecting the alliance's commitment to collective security. All right, let's talk about Biden. So, Lightning Ritter. Biden was never a real president. A dark group of unelected rule the U.S. These are the people who give the order to shoot. Ritter's an interesting guy, right? So Scott Ritter, a former U.S. Marine Corps intelligence officer and UN weapons inspector, suggests President Joe Biden is not truly in charge of the United States. Instead, Ritter argues an unelected group of established figures, often called the deep state, makes critical governance decisions. Ritter also described the 2024 presidential election as a significant test of American democracy, highlighting a struggle between democratic elites and the populist movements within the Republican Party. Point 1, Biden's fitness for office. Ritter questions Biden's fitness to serve as president, citing signs of weakness. I agree. He suggests that Biden's continued role as president raises questions about who is in control. That's true, though. But nobody's heard from Biden in 5 days now, right? Where is Biden? Anybody know? Number 2, the deep state. Ritter claims that the unelected group of establishment figures, sometimes called the deep state, actually governs the U.S. This group makes critical decisions for the country, but not necessarily for the benefit of the American people. The 2024 presidential election. The upcoming election is described as a test of American democracy. We're not a democracy, we're a republic. Man. And a battle between Democratic Party elites and a populist wave led by Trump within the Republican Party. Their words, not mine. Crazy. Ritter argues that the Democratic Party, unknown elites, are manipulating the election process to select the nominee. Interesting. Crisis of democracy and identity. We're a republic. Ritter believes America is facing a crisis of democracy and identity. He contends that the mainstream media has misled and manipulated the American public into accepting current affairs as usual. Scott Ritter's comments reflect his high belief that President Biden is not the real power behind the U.S. government, which he argues is controlled by an unelected group of establishment figures. This perspective casts the 2024 presidential election as a critical moment for American democracy, marked by a struggle between elite control and populist movements. Ritter's view suggests a deep crisis in American government and identity, exacerbated by media manipulation. I concur. How about some of you? Right. Let's see what else what we got here. Talk more about Biden. He's dying. He's sick. Billionaire Bill Ackman's tweet about Biden that set the U.S. on fire. Did Biden sign his resignation letter? So billionaire Bill Ackman's tweet about President Joe Biden's health has fueled speculation and controversy regarding Biden's potential withdrawal from the presidential race ahead of November 5th election. Despite the White House, Biden's commitment to completing his term, rumors about his health persist, including claims of a serious or incurable illness. Interesting. Biden's brother also cited health concerns as a reason for potential withdrawal, expressing a desire to spend more time with him. So here's some of my key points. So Bill Ackman's tweet. Bill Ackman tweeted that President Biden's health, sharing concerns over the lack of visual evidence or a video message confirming Biden's signing of a resignation letter. Ackman's tweet has intensified speculation and debate about Biden's health because he hasn't been seen for 5 days. Right? So 5 days. No one knows where he's at. White House response. The White House said that President Biden looks forward to completing his term, despite calls from some congressional Republicans for him to step down. Biden himself underlined his intention to complete his term. Health speculations, theories, and rumors about Biden's health are circulating, with some suggesting he has a serious or incurable illness. These speculations have been fueled by the absence of any visual confirmation of Biden's alleged resignation letter. It's interesting. Biden's brother's statements. Biden's brother mentioned the president's health as a reason for his possible withdrawal from the presidential race. Given the circumstances, he expressed pride in his brother and a selfish desire to spend more time with him. Conclusion. Bill Ackman's tweet and ongoing rumors about President Biden's health has sparked significant controversy and speculation about his potential withdrawal from the presidential race. Despite official statements affirming Biden's commitment to his term, concerns about his health persist, with personal statements from his brother adding to the narrative. The situation remains fluid, and public and political reactions continue to evolve. That's some of the best information I think we can get on Biden right now, to be quite honest. I can't find a whole lot more. All right. Let's keep going. So Trump on Kamala. Have you noticed her laugh? She's paranoid. I call her Laughy Kamala. I thought this article was funny and worth sharing. So Donald Trump made some remarks about Vice President Kamala Harris, highlighting her laugh and suggesting she is mentally unstable. Wow. This comes amid speculations of Joe Biden's withdrawal from the presidential race. Trump's campaign claims to have been preparing for the eventuality and expressed confidence in defeating Harris. She becomes the Democrat candidate. Some of my key points. Trump remarks on Kamala Harris. Trump mocked Harris' laugh, calling her Laughy Kamala and labeling her as a paranoid and crazy person. Compared her unfavorably to Nancy Pelosi. Wow, suggesting Harris is not as crazy as Pelosi. Interesting. Speculations on Biden's withdrawal. There are rumors and speculations about Joe Biden's withdrawal from the presidential race. Trump's campaign claimed to have anticipated this development and prepared for Harris to become the Democratic candidate, potentially. Trump's confidence against Harris. Trump expressed confidence in defeating Harris if she becomes the Democratic nominee. His comments came during his first campaign rally since the assassination attempt, emphasizing his readiness to face Harris in the election. Public perception and video. We're going to watch that in a second. Trump's remarks about Harris' laugh were backed by his suggestion to watch a video of her best moments. This tactic aims to ridicule Harris and undermine her credibility and mental stability of public eye. Donald Trump's critical remarks about Kamala Harris, coupled with ongoing speculation about Joe Biden's potential withdrawal from the presidential race, highlight the contentious and dynamic nature of the current U.S. political landscape. Trump's confidence in defeating Harris and his campaign's preparedness for such a scenario underscore the strategic maneuvers underway as the 2024 election approaches. We're not going to watch all the video. We'll just watch a few seconds of it. We get the idea.
Poor hubby. Poor hubby.
Not.
Now, I do want to show a video from something that Kamala Harris said. So I'm going to show this video from Disclose TV. So here it says Kamala speaks to Biden over the phone at campaign headquarters. She says, "It's so good to hear our president's voice. Joe, I know you're still on the," she was about to say recorder, but on the call is what she said instead. So you have to listen to this video. So let's listen to it.
It is so good to hear our president's voice. Joe, I know you're still on the call, and we've been talking every day. You guys heard it from Doug's voice. We love Joe and Jill. We really do. They truly are like family to us. And we do, everybody here does.
It's mutual.
I knew you were still there. You're not going anywhere, Joe.
I'm watching you, kid. I'm watching you, kid. I love you.
I love you, Joe. Oh. It is so good to hear our president's voice. Joe, I know you're still on the call, and we've been talking every day. You guys heard it from Doug's voice. We love Joe and Jill. We really do. They truly are like family to us. And everybody here does.
It's mutual.
I knew you were still there. You're not going anywhere, Joe.
I'm watching you, kid. I'm watching you, kid. I love you.
I love you, Joe. Oh.
All right. So last thing to talk about before we close out, I'm trying to find the article. All right, so Germany secretly supplied Ukraine with huge shipment of weapons. What did Berlin send? So Germany has secretly supplied Ukraine with significant shipment of heavy weapons, including tanks and armored vehicles, as reported by Mick Kerr. This delivery aims to bolster Ukraine's military capabilities amid ongoing conflict. Key points, weapon shipment details. The German government has delivered a substantial package of heavy weapons to Ukraine, with the transfer conducted discreetly. The shipment includes 39 tanks, adding to the previously delivered 11 Leopard 1 Alpha 5 tanks, bringing the total to 50. Kiev also received Marder armored personal carriers, increasing the total number to 120. Additional military equipment. The package includes 2 U.S.-made Iris-T ground-based air defense systems. 3 HIMARS multiple missile launches were also part of the latest delivery. Strategic implications. The new arms deliveries aim to help Ukraine form a specialized brigade from offensive operations. This reflects Germany's ongoing support for Ukraine's military efforts. I conclude. Germany's covert delivery of large package of heavy weapons to Ukraine, including tanks, armored vehicles, air defense systems, and missile launchers, signifies a substantial increase in military support. This move aims to enhance Ukraine's offensive capabilities, demonstrating Germany's commitment to aiding Ukraine in the ongoing conflict. Interesting. That's about all I have that I thought was pretty highlighted. What's going on, right? So now nobody really knows what's really going on with Biden, right? So let me know what you guys thoughts are on the video tonight. Thank you all again for following. Hope you enjoyed this video. Not as long tonight. Hope you'll enjoy it, right? I will ask this one thing, right? Well, you guys please click on the link to the full report. But I want to know, what can I do to improve the channel, right? I want this channel to go somewhere. And so let me know what I can do to improve it, right? Do you want more information, less information, right? I'm also going to start doing more about Ukraine, right? So thank you all again. Thanks for following. Love you all so much, right? JPC, Spiritual Talk. Never, ever go back, right? I love you all so much. Please like, subscribe, and share out, right? Whether you subscribe or not is really up to you, but please share out this video. I really want to do more, right? In order for me to do more and maybe go places instead, right? So I can report in other places. I really want this channel to get out there, and I need the help from all of you. So that's all I ask in return. I love you all so much. I'm out.